Thank you. Hello, my name is Gaspare, Bonomo. Oops, mic please. Okay, so I guess I have the screen right here. Beautiful. Hello, my name is Gaspare Bonomo. I'm an engineer and I'm here today as a concerned citizen. My position has never been no LRT. New technology is amazing and we should all embrace it. Not that I'm saying the LRT is new technology. My question has always been, is the LRT the right choice for Hamilton? The more I learned about the Hamilton LRT, the more I felt it was not the right choice. I would like to tell you today that I'm very concerned about the environmental assessment report by Steer Davies Gleave. They are the same authors who prepared the foundational report for Hamilton's rapid transit options. The report was the Hamilton King Main Rapid Transit Case, also known as the Benefits Case Analysis, and I'll probably be using the acronym BCA for that. This report was released on February of 2010, and it's actually the founding report that has got us to this point right now. When a transportation system's proposed, the most compelling argument is that it will save you travel time. If it cannot save you travel time, it will be difficult to justify the expense. Hence, a benefits case analysis is conducted. The amount of time saved by all commuters for the next 30 years is calculated, and an hourly rate is applied, and from that you get your dollar benefit. Then this dollar benefit is compared to the cost of the proposed transit system. An analysis of the BCA report has identified a number of identified a number of serious errors with the data which do not support the conclusions of the report. The report is intended to provide councillors with valuable, cost-effective information to make an informed decision. This situation does not enable an informed decision-making process for the city councillors. Again, because the conclusions are not valid. So I'm quoting some of the articles in that report. So basically, like I said, the majority of the benefits are derived from the travel time savings, and also it also says that travel time benefits is directly related to operating speed of the rapid transit system. The average speed at which the LRT travels through the city has been exaggerated in the report. Steer Davies Gleave have incorrectly portrayed the LRT as having a shorter travel time than the BRT. This in turn creates an inflated LRT dollar benefit to support the much higher cost of the LRT system as compared to the BRT. Steer Davies Gleave actually admitted using an incorrect higher LRT speed. The footnote identified that the speed used in the LRT calculation was an inappropriate faster speed. A lower speed of 25 kilometers per hour should have been used due to the slower speeds LRTs must travel when going through the downtown core and generally just going through a city as well. So you can see from the footnote where I've circled that they've used 33, but they say, however, speeds in the downtown core are assumed to be somewhat slower in the range of 25. I would like to identify a city memorandum dated February 1st, 2010, the same month as the release of the BCA report. The memo identifies a conversation between Metrolinx and the city and states. The BCA numbers, not yet released publicly, show BRT as the top performing system for Hamilton. So it was identified that BRT was the top performing system. But the LRT numbers are very close, and the case could easily be argued for LRT for Hamilton based on the BCA numbers. Metrolinx informed the city that the BRT was the top performing system. The BCA report recommending LRT for Hamilton is based on flawed misrepresentations of the data. If a valid benefit case analysis was conducted, the LRT option would never have been selected. For some reason, we're sitting here today debating whether the wrongly chosen option should proceed. Why would we choose a much more expensive LRT when it has significantly lower cost-benefit ratio than the alternative BRT?
Your time is up.
I'm sorry, did you? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if I heard it. Yeah.
Your time is up.
Okay, this was the last page, but you can read it, I guess. 5 minutes is just not enough time.
You want to go ahead?
Hi, thanks. Thanks for your work in this. And this has been one of my pet peeves with Steers, Davies, and Glee. And in fact, this is my pet peeve with the majority of the reports that have been sloppily done. I'm going to say this clearly: sloppily done.
Terrible.
And there's actual misinformation in those reports. So, and I think you're the second one that's come up and indicated that the feasibility on the BRT versus LRT was flawed. And I asked this question earlier, and I'm going to ask it to you, because, I mean, the context for me was always we actually had an $800 million or $1 billion LRT project, or we have two BRT projects. I haven't seen Stuart Davies Gleave or anyone do a total assessment of both systems at the value and cost of implement them, which is less than the cost of the LRT. Did you find anywhere where they took the A line and B line BRT and did the cost-benefit analysis versus the 11-kilometer stretch of LRT?
No, it seems like for some reason the LRT was the push. So regardless of what the benefit-cost ratio was showing, they just wanted to demonstrate that we're getting that LRT, and there was very little on BRT whatsoever. Now, I've actually calculated what the benefit-cost ratio should be for the LRT. I just wasn't been able to put it in the 5 minutes that I had.
Okay, what's that number?
So this here shows you how the speed deals with travel time, and for the BRT it was shown as 25 kilometers per hour. Remember, this BRT is also in a designated lane, also has the ability to change lights, and they're saying it can only go 25 kilometers per hour. And so it takes 34 minutes. The LRT should also show 25 kilometers an hour, which means it would show the same travel time, but by increasing the speed falsely, they come up with 26 minutes for that one. And so the top chart shows you that if we use the incorrect speed, they get a cost-benefit ratio of 1.09, just over that required one number, where the BRT is showing 1.42. What that means is, with the BRT, for every dollar you invest, you're going to get back $1.42. With the LRT, for every dollar you invest, you're getting back $1.09. Then the argument is that you're better off going with it because you're investing more money But my thing is, if I'm investing money, I'd rather get 142% of it back than 109%. So when I put in the correct number for the speed, if you look at the cost-benefit ratio for the LRT, it's down to 0.4, and that's using 25 kilometers per hour for both. So now that shows you that if you invest $1 billion, that you're only going to receive a benefit of $400 million. And that's a project that you would not proceed with. And the BRT, of course, stays at what it was because nothing's changed. Now, the other thing they did is they also reduced the cost of the LRT by predicting that for the BRT, ridership was going to increase 500%. So it started out with I show it in brackets over here. The capital cost started out at $829, and they reduced it to $784 because they think they're going to make money as the number of passengers increases, which again is false because there isn't a LRT system in North America that can make any money. New York City moves 7.5 million people a day, and it's recovering 68% of what the ridership pays. So there is no recovering your money when you get into an LRT system.
So I appreciate that. And this is an area that I've been focusing on as well. And how do we get here? And then you look at the type of reports we received, and you understand how. Because we weren't, in my humble opinion, I want to make sure I express that. I didn't feel that, one, we were identifying all the risk in any reports to date. Did you see any risk identified in any reports that you've gone through? Nothing that
has stood out, but I know that this project is going to fail from the get-go just because of the design. So it's not only this, there's more to it. The other thing with this report, they had indicated that there was going to be growth in the city, in Hamilton, and they said that all that growth was going to be in a corridor, and then showed a graph, and there's all that growth, meaning 160,000 people and 300,000 jobs, where in fact the growth is happening in the outskirts. Very little growth is happening along that corridor.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. I think one of the arguments, though, is that by doing along the corridor, you will encourage investment and development along the corridor. So I don't dispute that. I think that's a fair comment.
Yes, it will increase, but still not at the rate that what's happening, say, in Pembroke or Glanbrook. Those are increasing exponentially. This will go up, but not at the same rate. So
the area that I want the other area I want to focus on is, as you know, originally this was supposed to go from McMaster to Eastgate.
Yes.
Then they truncated it with a justification to put a spur line in. Then they pulled the spur line and suggested A line, and yet we don't even know how much dollars are coming to the A line because it's not clear. But we know that by taking the spur line out, it should have released about $128 million. Is that your understanding?
That's correct. But that was probably done in the tunnel underneath the rail tracks at Gage Park, because that wouldn't have been in an original estimate, and that was something came up.
So is it possible, because my sense, and I'll be asking the staff this question later, but it appears that $120 million for that spur line is pretty well spent, and we're 5% into the design, and we're already 10% over the budgeted number.
Yes, I believe that they're going to have difficulty building this for the money that they've allocated. I'm seeing now for infrastructure $200 to $400 million. I'm not sure where we're there. The initial reports identified $79 million for infrastructure, and I think that someone's just trying to paint a nice picture that we're going to get $200 to $400 million worth of infrastructure replaced. If that happens, then the $1 billion is not enough, and you're going to be going from McMaster to James Street.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gaspare. Councillor Vanderbeek, can you take the chair for a minute, please? Gaspare, did you raise this with anyone when you discovered that the benefit cost ratio was so different from, or at least your figures, from what we've been told?
I have not had an opportunity to raise it with anyone. No, I've been working on these things, but busy with work and things. So no, I haven't mentioned this to anyone before today.
Thank you. Through the chair, in your opinion, I know Councillor Whitehead was touching on this, but the cost of building the LRT, we have to build a bridge, and we have a ditch or a whatever you want to call it at Gage. Do you think those two examples alone? Do you think that we'll be able to come in on budget, just citing the differences in the route?
There's other bridges as well. There's that bridge over the 403. There's the bridge going to the maintenance. I mean, those are just going to take up so much money, especially the one going over the 403. That's quite a complex, lengthy bridge, and there is no way that $1 billion is going to do all that. My background's, I've got a degree in construction estimating as well, so I'm just trying to tell you to my best knowledge that will not be enough. So then sometime later we're going to be looking at what do we cut back, because they've been pretty clear that all they have is $1 billion and no more, and it has to fit with the $1 billion.
Through the chair, you don't see a contingency fund built into the current plan?
No, I've looked at the Waterloo numbers, and the contingency fund was built into the $818 million they had, and they only had about 10 or 12 million left over, so it came within their budget. So we're working with $1 billion, but with all these bridges and all these things that are going on, there's no way that $1 billion is going to do it.
Through the chair, before you go, is there anything else that you discovered that you feel you should be raising right now?
Well, the only thing is I do have a copy of that memorandum I referred to, and it was addressed to the city here, so I'm not sure if anyone has ever seen that memorandum, but I just thought I made 20 copies. I can hand it around so
yes,
that
please.
you do have the official memorandum and not just taking my word for it.
Yes, please. And also, if it's possible to have a copy of your presentation as well.
Yes, I can transfer that over.
Through the clerk. Thank you very much, and thank you for your presentation. I'll take the chair
You're welcome.
back. Thank you. Kyle is next, followed by Carl Andrews.